Well, good morning, everybody. Glad you joined us for another ABA Coffee in the Park. My name is Cam Milliken, and I am here with my co-host extraordinaire, Jennifer Herrick, the Executive Director of the Atchison Business Association.
You got it correct today.
I got it correct, Jennifer. I practiced.
You did.
All week, yeah. I said it like 100 times.
Well, that's good.
It's like writing lines when I was in school.
That's
but anyway,
perfect.
yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing awesome.
That's
it's a great
good.
day. We're here at the Wall Coffee Roasters in beautiful downtown Atchison. That's right. So we're really excited. Hey, anything new you want to tell us or about our sponsors or anybody like that?
Well, as always, I would love to give a shout out and a big thank you to our gold corporate sponsors, which include the MyShot Group of Companies, Genix, and Parkland County. We are so thrilled to have these individuals supporting the ABA, and we couldn't do what we do without them.
And they are awesome, and you're right. We thank them very much for their support. Hey, anything else you want to tell us about? It's coming up with the Atchison Business Association?
Well, maybe we'll leave that one to the end.
Okay.
Because I'm so excited for our guest today, Cam.
Okay, well, let's get right into it then. And our guest is Jennifer?
Well, our guest today is, I will call her a legend.
That's a good word.
It's a good word. Do you like that word?
No, I like that. That's a good word. Yeah.
She's a legend.
Yeah, she's a legend.
So our guest today is Cathy Dool, who was actually one of the founding members of the Atchison Business Association.
That's right.
And now this is from Cathy's mouth directly. I said, Cathy, what title do you want me to give you? And we are going to call her Jack of all trades at Hayworth Equipment.
That's right.
Because she does it all.
Okay, so we'll say Jack of all trades, owner of Hayworth Equipment. Cathy, welcome.
Welcome, Cathy.
Good to have you here.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here.
This is great. We're excited. We are I have to admit, we've been looking forward to this podcast because anytime we're with you, we always have a blast and it's just always fun. And so thank you for taking the time to join us today.
So, Cathy, we're going to start out really easy. Tell us about yourself. Where did you grow up?
Oh, wow. Okay, taking me back. I was born in Jasper, Alberta.
Oh.
So I am a park animal, protected species. Just putting that out there.
Folks, I've never heard that. And for those of you who aren't from this region and don't know about Jasper, Jasper is a national park here in Alberta. And yes, it's a protected park. So that's awesome. You're a protected species. I love it.
I am. So grew up in Hinton. Spent most of my early years there. And Mom and Dad had a trucking company, a tire company, and a cafe.
Oh.
So very early on knew I had to be entrepreneurial to keep up with them.
Yeah, keep up with them. Yeah, for sure.
I remember some of my earlier tactics when we were younger because Dad was in gravel. And so us kids being entrepreneurial decided that we would sell the sand in our sandbox to the neighbors.
How old were you?
Yes, how old?
I think I was 8.
8, and you started a sand business.
Yeah, because the other kids couldn't get sand
To
in
the
their
neighbors' kids.
sandbox.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. So, did you just go door to door and sell sand? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
with our little wagon behind us, we had Tonka toys that we filled it up with.
Oh,
And Mom kept going to Dad, you need to bring more sand. And Mom kept going, Dad, go, why? And, well, are the kids eating it? And he said, no, they're selling it.
They're selling the sand.
He
Wow.
says, yeah, that sounds like my kids.
Yeah. Well, awesome. So where did the sand selling lead you to?
Well, it led me to, we got involved with horses, which was the start of my rodeo career.
Okay, so we need to talk about this.
Yes, we do.
Tell us about your rodeo career. This is awesome.
So when I was 10 years old, Mom had already started riding horses. It had been a passion of hers. And I thought, well, this is kind of cool. I would like a horse. And Dad said, well, you'll have to earn it. I thought, okay, now what can I do? So I became a dishwasher at 10 years old at Hinton Husky.
I've eaten at the Hinton Husky.
It's a legend.
Were you washing dishes when I was there? That's pretty awesome, I think.
I'm either washing dishes or waitressing because after 6 months I moved into
Yeah.
waitressing.
Sure.
So I saved my money to buy my first saddle and my first bridle and money towards my first horse and started riding. And the first horse that I practiced on was a 25-year-old stud.
Uh-huh.
And I was a 10-year-old girl.
Wow. Yeah.
And I didn't understand when mares are in heat.
Yeah.
Studs
Yeah.
react.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know how many times I got dragged behind him
Yeah.
on the hardwood floor. I think after about the 5th time I realized what was going on.
Right, yeah.
The birds and bees become really quick when you're around farm animals.
No. I got a story about that. But anyways, well, it's about you, not me. So, yeah. Anyhow.
And so that was sort of the start of the rodeo. You know, our
Yeah.
family every weekend went to gymkhanas, went to rodeos, went to flat races, anything that we could enter in.
Sure.
We entered in egg and spoon races on
Yeah.
horses,
Yeah.
sack races, you know, put the panties on the piggy.
Yeah.
We did it all. And I think in about 1975, Dad decided that had enough of the trucking company, enough of everything, and we moved to Stony Plain. And he started Hayworth on the west end of Edmonton.
Okay.
17707 Stony Plain Road.
Really?
Which doesn't even really exist today.
17707. Yeah.
It was right across from the Sandman Inn.
Okay.
And there
Yeah.
was nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing but a campsite and an old...
Yeah, I think it's a hotel now, isn't it? Isn't it
yeah,
that?
it's Quality
yeah,
Inn.
That's right. Yeah.
And so he moved us there from Hinton. We stayed in the motorhome, 7 of us,
Wow.
for about 5 months while they started up Hayworth. And I wanted to still rodeo.
Yeah.
So I got a job at the Mayfield Inn, waitressing, and that's how I paid for my gas, my horse trailer. Probably shouldn't say this, but I was 15 and driving.
It's Alberta. It's okay. It's Alberta.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It was a
all
different time.
farmland.
It was a
It was a
different
different time. Good point. Yeah. So just for those who are hearing this
Calm down,
and
everybody.
thinking it's
It's
cool
like-
to drive at 15, not cool. Okay, just say different time.
I did
Yeah.
have adults with me.
Right. Yeah. Well, that makes all the difference. That's it right there. So yeah.
And got lucky. Did the Alberta Summer Games. Won a silver
Wow.
in rodeo.
Yeah.
Barrel
Were you
racing?
barrel racing?
Barrel
Yeah.
racing?
Okay.
Barrel
Yeah.
racing,
Yeah.
And so we moved to Stony Plain. They opened up Hayworth, first consignment shop in Western Canada. And we continued rodeoing and everything else like that. Horses was, you know,
Yeah.
it's a hobby, but it's also full-time work.
Sure. Yeah.
'Cause
It's
when-
a lifestyle.
It is a
It's a
lifestyle.
lifestyle for sure.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
when we, got to Stony Plain, we had cattle and chicken and cats and dogs and horses. We ranched, we farmed. I was like, oh my God, I'm a city girl from Hinton.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. So after that, I finished high school, rodeoed all the way through high school, and started to look for a partner. Found a partner, moved back to Hinton. That was a change.
Yeah.
And then realized I didn't like Hinton anymore. Came back to Stony Plain and got a job at Grant McEwen.
Okay.
So tell us
tell us
about
about
that, Kathy. Tell us,
about-
what
no,
did
but-
you do at Grant McEwen?
Well, moving back, it was, I think, it was a while ago. And word processing had just taken
Yes.
over
Yeah.
typewriters.
Yeah.
I thought, I got to learn this because typewriters are dead.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I took a course at Grant McEwen, finished it 5 days early, and the instructor says, well, you can't just leave. I can't give you your certificate.
Yeah.
You got to do something while you're here. So she set me up with the people in the community public relations department. And so one of the girls phoned me and she says, hey, come down and have a talk for a coffee break, right? So the director of the foundation Terry Flanagan was there, and he started asking me questions about who was in the hockey series. Of course, that was the early 80s,
Yeah.
mid 80s,
Yeah.
and of course the Oilers were
They were the
high
team.
Dynasty.
Absolutely.
dynasty.
Yeah.
So I knew everything.
For sure.
So about after 5 questions, he got up and he says, "Okay, you can start on Monday."
Wow.
I went, "What?" Didn't ask me a single thing. Only asked me about the
Yeah.
finals.
Wow.
I'm going,
You impressed him. You knew. That's awesome. You knew the hockey stuff.
I knew something. So, learned a hell of a lot there.
Yeah.
Continued to rodeo. Continued to go all over Alberta and Western Canada. Actually went down to the States, did the winter rodeos down there.
Right.
Learned a whole bunch of stuff that I liked and what I didn't like. And when I came back home, I thought, there's money in horses, as long as I'm selling them.
Yeah.
Not
That's right.
buying them.
No, you're right. Yeah.
And so got rid of the horses and got involved with quads. That took me a whole other direction.
Kathy, I'm just going to stop right. You amaze me. It is just, I've known you now for a few years, and I know these stories come out from time to time, and then all of a sudden, I didn't know the quad thing. Tell us about the quad thing. I'm curious now.
Well, I got tired of feeding the horses, watering them,
Yeah.
chasing after them,
Yeah.
vet bills, feeding, everything. Figured out the quads didn't need my attention. I didn't have to gas them up if I didn't want
Have
to.
to feed them.
As long as they
Well,
stayed in the
little
grass.
gas, I guess, but yeah, that's about it.
As long as they were in the garage, I didn't have to worry
Yeah.
about them escaping.
Wow.
So it was great.
And what did you do with quads?
Went all around Alberta.
Really?
Found every back road, every crown land
Yeah.
that we could go quadding on.
Cool.
All over Rocky Mountain.
Yeah.
My sister and I did the very first time we went out quadding. My parents had been into quadding, but it wasn't something that I thought about. So the very first time we went down to south of Rocky and Empty Town.
Okay. Yeah.
And we went there with tents and a pickup and our quads.
Wow.
And it rained all weekend.
Oh, no. Now, did that make it more fun or more challenging or less fun? Or
I said to Arlene, my sister, I says, okay, if we're doing this, we're not doing it in a tent.
Yeah.
That next weekend, we went and bought a motorhome.
I just love the way you think. I just love the way you think. I think that's fantastic. So, okay, so now you're into quadding. You're working at McEwen. What's going on at McEwen? Like, what are you doing there? What do you?
Well, I was really active in the building of City Centre campus.
That's right. I think you were pretty instrumental in putting that up, weren't you?
Yeah, we used to, once we had all the plans done up, I used to do tours on bare land for 2 years to show people what it was going to be all about. I was the chairman of the grand opening. We started the Alumni Association. I was instrumental in starting the Alumni Association, instrumental in starting the foundation, where we raised money for scholarships and whatnot.
Wow.
And what I'm starting to realize that I have a lot of firsts in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I get that from my parents because, you know, when they moved west in Edmonton, there was nothing there.
Yeah.
Woolco was over the bridge.
Woolco. There's a blast
There's a
from the
good
past
store.
right there. Woolco. Yeah.
Our
no
younger
doubt it.
listeners are not going to have
That's
a clue
right.
what
Yeah,
Woolco was.
yeah, they're just gonna go, what is a Woolco? But
Yeah.
it'd be like a Walmart.
Yeah.
Smaller,
Yeah,
but like a Walmart.
smaller.
Yeah.
Different.
for
Yeah.
So
sure,
it's
yeah.
now Mayfield Common, and there's all
Okay.
kinds of businesses in
Yeah.
between. But when we moved there, it was
Yeah.
a wide open field.
Cool.
And then in 1986, we moved to Atchison. It wasn't Zone 3. It was called Ellis Park.
So Hayworth moved to Atchison.
Hayworth
Yeah.
moved to
Yeah.
Atchison, and Dad bought Nasby's, and
Okay.
there was nothing here.
Yeah.
Again, wide open spaces.
Yeah.
And then when we moved in 2004 to where our present location was, there was nothing there. Husky had one gas pump, and we took down a farmhouse to build there.
Is that right, eh? So there, wow.
So there's just a lot of firsts in my life. I was thinking about it last night. I'm going, wow, Mom and Dad did lots of firsts.
Yeah.
And really got ingrained in me.
So your
somehow.
family and Hayworth were really, when it comes to Atchison, the business park here now, you were pioneers. You were the first, some of the first.
Yeah, Dad was the first, and
Wow.
then when I got involved in 2000,
Yeah.
there was a lot of brownouts here because it was
No power grid.
Right.
No power
yeah.
grid.
Yeah.
The infrastructure, it just wasn't set
Wasn't
up.
there? Yeah.
No, it was light farm
that
because it
something?
was all farm.
This is fascinating to me. I mean, Jennifer, you and I, we work here. We're here every day during the week, and we see it how it is now. I had no idea about this. This is kind of fascinating.
This is
to
the
me.
history of Atchison.
To see where Atchison, you've seen it firsthand,
Absolutely.
and actually were instrumental and part of it, of from that where you started to where it is today.
Yeah, like as a young entrepreneur,
Yeah.
just losing Dad and getting involved in the family business. After years of being out on my own, left Grant McEwen.
Sure.
Started working with.
So
the
let's
company.
talk about that for a second.
Okay.
So you left Grant McEwen because
I got involved with personal and professional coaching company based out of Seattle.
okay,
And it was all about teaching students how to be successful
right,
when they graduate,
okay,
because that wasn't happening.
yeah,
And as we started getting involved with that, it was like, well, forget students. What about employees? What
Yeah.
about employers? How
Right.
can we help them? So spent probably the next 5 or 6 years just all over North America, going into companies, helping create their culture, create their business, setting goals for both the employees and the employers.
yeah.
It was great. It was,
Right. And that took you to where?
Well, actually, I was going to stay on that path.
Right.
And it wasn't until Dad got cancer and then passed in 2000. And one of the last things that he said to both my sister and I is, you need to come home. You need to help Mom.
Wow.
Well, she focuses on my health and we get better. And he never got better.
Yeah.
He passed in March of 2000. So it was like, okay, that career is over now. I'm going to jump into this. So had never wanted to be involved with Hayworth. Wasn't interested, liked what they did, knew that it supported our family.
Yeah.
But it was like, okay, we'll be there to help Mom. And I've grown to love it, as I think some people know.
Sure. Tell us a little what Hayworth
yeah,
does.
I was going to say, tell us what Hayworth does.
Well, Hayworth is a heavy truck and trailer dealership. So we sell new and used trailers and used trucks, the semis. Anything that you can pull behind a semi-truck, a trailer-wise, we sell it. And so we do parts, service, sales, rentals, financing. We do consignments, as I said. Dad was one of the first consignment locations in Western Canada.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do. We continue to do it. We're going to be 40. We are 49 years
Wow.
old this year.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Second generation, although we've run it longer than Mom and Dad have run it. So I think we've sort of proven that we can do it.
Yeah.
And, as I was getting involved, I got involved with Parkland County, the economic development. Luke Patton was the economic development officer. And, he encouraged me to, start the association, encouraged me to bang on doors, and, we needed more power out here. We needed signage. Worked with one of the counselors, Division 1, way back in the day, and decided the biggest problem is that our address was Spruce Grove.
Yeah.
So how do we change that? So spent months and months getting that changed over to Atchison and getting it recognized at least as whatever it is.
Yeah.
Downtown beautiful.
Beautiful
Beautiful
downtown.
down Atchison.
That's right. That's what it is. That's
what it is.
You're in the heart of it right there.
And it's grown so much.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh,
when I
yeah.
got involved in 2000,
Yeah.
I mean,
Who would have known, eh?
who would have known? I mean, even 3/4 of the businesses that are in Zone 3 weren't even here.
Right.
Oh, exactly.
Zone 5 was non-existent. 7, 8,
Yeah.
6,
Wow.
4.
Yeah.
Basically all of them.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It is. It's just, I love learning the history
Yeah.
about how Atchison came to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I say, we're here every day. We see it as it is now, and it's still growing. But to know that that's where it came from, and you were instrumental in that, I think that's just pretty amazing to me. That's incredible. And you guys stuck out here. You stayed in Atchison. You didn't want to go anywhere. You moved a couple times.
Moved a couple times to wide open spaces.
Right.
Another
Yeah.
first. We were the first in Zone 3, the first in
Yeah.
Zone 2.
So, and you talked about the story of your dad passing and you and your sister taking over the business. What was that like? Like, what did you feel like at that time? Was it this massive, overwhelming feeling, or was it how did that go? Like,
I don't know if there was any feelings involved.
Yeah.
To be honest, I
Right.
think it had to be done.
Yeah.
Step up. Don't sit there complaining. Don't worry about it. Just mom needed help. Working with family. There was 5 family members. So my mom, my brother, another sister, and Arlene and I, who
Right.
had been working together and had developed that relationship. Hold back the onion, so to say, that we could actually work together.
Yeah.
But working with 3 other siblings, or 2 other siblings and my mom,
right.
oh, trust me, there was days.
That's another podcast. We could probably take a whole podcast and talk about sibling rivalry in business. Yeah.
And it I don't even know if it was rivalry. It was just different ideas.
Sure.
Wanting different, to proceed different ways.
Yeah.
So it was really learning about communication. I mean, today, even more so communication.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, communicate.
Yes.
Communicate.
Yeah.
If there's a problem, communicate.
Yeah.
Communicate before there's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing
Sure.
thing continuously. And today, my brother, Gary, my sister Arlene, and I run it, and we're still communicating.
And your mom's still around.
I was going to say, tell us about your mom.
Yeah, she's
Yes.
amazing.
Oh, we love your mom.
She's just the best.
Her heart is still in Hayworth.
Yeah.
I mean, her and Dad started it back in '75, so she's been here the whole 49 years. She has actually helped us transform all of our paper documents into digital. So we now have digital records well over 10 years.
Yeah.
And she did it all.
Wow.
She comes in one day a week now, brings cookies. We have customers stop just to pick up cookies and visit Mom.
What day does Mom bring in
Yeah,
cookies?
wait a minute.
Okay, Thursday.
Road trip?
Guess what we're doing
Yeah.
on Thursday? That's right.
Yeah.
We're heading over to Hayworth.
Yeah. And, every now and then she'll treat everybody with her butter tarts. Her butter tarts are the best. We actually have customers phone in to see
Yeah.
butter tarts are in the building.
That's just great. That's fantastic.
And we still we're serving 3-generation
Yeah.
companies now.
That's amazing.
Especially out in Hinton, Dad, our old stomping ground.
Yeah.
We have the 3rd generation coming to us. So that's the cool
It
part.
speaks
That
volumes,
is.
right?
It really does.
Yeah. Well, Cathy, we could spend hours and hours having this conversation.
This is honestly the one time I wish the podcast went on for like an hour, that we could do this, because I just sense there's more stories.
Oh,
there's more. Yeah. So.
But since we do have to wrap it up, because we are limited to our 30 minutes.
That's right. We try to be diligent.
We try to be diligent
Yeah.
for our listeners. We do have a final a question that we ask all of our guests. So, Cathy, what's the best piece of advice you've received, either personally or professionally, that you carry with you to this day?
I was lucky to be mentored by Dr. Grant McEwen,
Okay.
who
Wow.
was the Alberta Solicitor General.
Yes.
And when I
Wow.
first started at Grant McEwen, he used to come in to the office, came up from Calgary at least once or twice a month, and he
Yeah.
always came to our office because we were public relations. We were the face of Grant McEwen.
Sure.
And he was very proud of that. And he always said to me, always leave the garden better than when you came into it. And that has stuck with me
That's good.
over and over and over.
That's good.
And I carry it to this day. I say it to a lot of our new employees. Just always leave it better than what you came to.
Wow. That's fantastic. That really is. That's great advice.
It is. And I think it can apply in so many areas of our lives, both
Yeah.
personally and professionally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No matter what you're doing,
Yeah.
just leave it better than what you came upon.
Right. We're running out of time a little bit, but I'm curious what's next for Cathy.
I don't know. I think right now we're continuing to see the market's changing, business is changing, the landscape is changing.
Right.
I think for me personally, it's bought a lake lot, so spending more time out there, bought a boat, a pontoon boat.
Pontoon boat. Party at Cathy's pontoon boat.
So I think just learning to do both.
Yeah.
Have that time for fun and relaxation.
Right.
And so that every day that I do come into work, I'm rejuvenated.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of people who are not happy where they're at,
Yeah.
and I'm choosing to be happy.
Yeah.
Oh, also great advice.
Yeah. Fantastic. Really fantastic. Like I say, I think we could just go on and on and on. And I have to say, Cathy, you're one of my favorite people to talk to. You really are.
Thank you.
We share a little bit of a common bond in rodeo, and
Yes.
I love that.
As a clown.
Yeah, I was the clown. That's right. I was a rodeo clown for a couple
See,
of
I
years.
do remember.
You do remember, yeah. I wasn't going to mention that, other than we share a bit of a bond. But anyways,
The
I think
bond is still there.
yeah, I think it's fantastic, and thank you for starting the ABA.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
And I mean that sincerely. I'm glad you sit still on our board as a member emeritus, and we're glad that you're there. And thank you for taking the time to do this today. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it.
We sure do.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys because you guys are continuing exactly how I wanted to see the association going.
Wow.
And so I'm so proud of where the association is and your guys' involvement, because it is where it is because of the people involved.
Right. Well, it's a great organization for sure. If you're in Atchison,
Downtown.
Beautiful downtown.
Downtown Atchison. Stop at the wall and pick up a coffee. But if you work in Atchison or even do business in Atchison, the ABA,
Check it out.
check it out.
There's
That's
a
right.
lot going on.
Yeah.
For now and into the future, we're excited about the direction of the association.
Yeah.
Check out our website, atchisonbusiness.com. Follow us on our LinkedIn, our Instagram. You're going to see exactly what we're doing.
Tell us about what's coming up. We're excited about that.
So, nominations closed for the Business Awards, which are on September 28th. Record nominations
Yeah,
have come
fantastic.
in. I'm so excited. We're
Yep.
going to be trickling out this week on our social media who all the nominees are. So, people need to follow to find that out. And we are having a coffee in the park, not the podcast, but a get-together network event next Thursday, September 5th, here at the ABA parking lot in the Wall Coffee Roaster, 27717 Atchison Road. Come by for some food trucks, some beverages, and just to connect with business and neighbors and friends.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's sort of we're calling it the adult version of going back to school.
That's right.
And getting everybody together again. Kids go back, they get to see all their friends. We're saying, hey, come and join us, have
Come
some
see
lunch.
all your friends.
That's right, hang out. I think we're going to do a bit of a podcast there, I think.
Yeah.
We're talking about that and may interview you if you stop by, so come on by. It'll be a lot of fun. Well, thank you, everybody. It's been great. You know what? Remember, we always tell you, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies, tell everybody about this podcast. You can find it wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find it at www.atchisonbusiness.com. If you don't know how to do that podcast thing, won't mention any names, Mike Myshak. But anyways, we just shared around.
Absolutely. Until next week, thanks for listening.
See you, everybody. Bye.